special paste. You guys see where I did that? Let me go back out. So I'm right-clicking, see paste special. Paste special. Special paste. So I don't know what all these damn little icons are. I need words because I'm old like that. And we should be able to transpose. You guys see the transpose down here in the lower right? So all spreadsheets should give the opportunity, because it's just a data stream. The computer should be able to move it around and rearrange a number of different ways without screwing it up. Whereas if you try to do it manually, it takes a lot of time, and you can screw it up. So let it do it for you. So you can transpose it and convert everything back, columns to rows and rows to columns. Okay. So go in here, select all, paste special, transpose, boom. Alright, so I'm going to go back to my original. I'm just going to do what I did before. I selected everything. Apparently it didn't like me selecting everything, so I'm going to come back here. What? And I'm going to copy that. And we'll go in here. Special paste. Whoops. So I need to get a big special paste. I'm right-clicking use unmentionable. Special paste. So, and that's converted all over. Now we have in columns that we're used to working with, where we have identifiers on that. So we have identifiers on this bit, and there's our first few columns. So most of you guys, when you work with graphing, you prefer to pull your Excel stuff out of columns. So I'm going to ask everybody to generate at least one graph using an increment, something that goes up with number. For example, this age one. So let's see if we want to find a relationship between age. Oh, and we need to get our time. Does everyone know how to do the averages?
Yeah.
Alright, everybody okay with that? We see the formula I typed in here?
How do you do the average?
So average of N3 to R3. And so that pulls my 5 trials, and there's the average for that person. I think that year they had to take a meter stick, balance on the end of their finger without moving. And you see some of them were fairly good at it, upwards of 50 seconds of balancing a meter stick at the tip of your finger. And then some of them were a couple of shits couldn't get it started. And 1.62 is essentially the time it took to fall. And some people towards the end said, you know what we can do? We can throw it while we're falling so we get more time. So, not a lot of big times on that one, 20s, 11s. I'd like to change up the trick every now and then. So it is an exercise in futility that is fun, but still generates a data set from which we might be able to extract some meaning. So, I had an extra column to do my averages for me. The great thing about Excel, you type a formula once, and then you can drag it on there. So let me just delete all this stuff real quick. Now, you see that top formula? So in there I'd simply type equals average, and I didn't have to type the numbers, but I did leave it with an equals, and I just selected the field in that row. So that gives me N3 to R3, and I hit return. Now, I only have to do that once, because then I grab that little button, that little square at the bottom of it. You guys see it okay? And I can just pull and drag that to fill the rest of my columns for me. This is what we love about spreadsheets. You do an operation once. For some of the labs we're looking at in the distant future, that'll be a very handy feature that you just think about algebraically what that formula should look like to complete your calculation. Put that form in there and let it do it. You can also get some of these other simple stat ones, so your standard deviation, and get that same one. Why would deviation be interesting in our group?
There's a lot of discrepancy.
Yeah, some people might have a high average, but it might be by one value. Like with Jeffrey's 1,000 in there. When we took his 1,000 out, what happens to his average? So when you look at your deviations, that might be an additional little test you want to do. I've never taken a formal stat class. I don't know that much. I cannot conduct the actual p-test and all those myself. But I generally get the idea of what they mean and indicate, even if I can't do them. The ones I go to most are deviation, especially if I'm analyzing, say, your test results and things like that, or item results. If I have one problem, like I test a new problem and I get a lot of variance in student responses, maybe there's something wrong with the problem I should look at. So I use that one a lot. When I kind of compare classes, I tend to do things like mean and mode as well, and see what my most common types of numbers I'm getting are. So, like here, see this one in this row? Okay. You can see there that the deviation is greater than the average. What's that say about the precision of that person?
What does standard deviation mean?
It's the average distance from the median from all the points in the group.
Okay. Mean from mean. Okay.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, like the first person, or like this person right here. The times aren't very good, but they're consistent. Times are good, but times are not good, but at least they're reliable. So if you're hiring people and you want to make sure you pick the best person for the reliable outcome, yeah. Think about like baseball. Baseball loves guys who can hit, say 270, 300. Well, 300 is really nice, but 270 is a good batting average. If you can get on base at least once every 4 bats, you contribute to your team. You don't have to hit a lot of home runs. You don't actually have to drive a lot of runs in. If we can count on you to get on base, you can be a good leadoff batter for any team as long as you can keep up on the defensive end.